Hi there, color pencil enthusiasts. Today, blending is the highlight of the day, and I'm going to show you 6 super easy techniques and where to start using them in your artwork. These are the ones that I use as a professional color pencil artist when creating my works, and I've done a lot of testing to really perfect these blending skills. They're really easy to learn, and you'll definitely be able to start using them today in your own artwork, and to me, that's fantastic. So to start, I've created 6 elongated circles and fun animal shapes on the computer, and I've printed it on a Stonehenge white paper to do the demo. But of course, you can do any shape or just open practice on a sheet of drawing paper. The template is in the description box below. Okay, so let's dive right in. Grab our pencils and get drawing. The first color set I'm working with is yellow, orange, red, and dark red, and our first blending technique is glazing. I'm going to start with yellow as a base layer. This is going to serve as the foundation color and the direction for your artwork. Don't worry about making it too perfect for the first pass, as we're going to be adding more layers, but do keep in mind that glazing uses a super light pressure, less than 1, to really make it work. I've got a 1-minute video and pressure chart on my website describing pressures that I'll add the link to in the description area below. So, what is glazing? Glazing is a drawing process of adding transparent layers of color over another layer of color. This technique uses the unique color pigment and binder quality of professional colored pencils to create transparent layers of multiple colors. The pencils are used in combination with pressure, allowing artists control over values and hue richness. It's like adding layers on top of layers, but very lightly with increasing pressure as the work progresses. However, the end result is not to overwhelm the base layers with the top layers of colors, but to show transparency, lightness, and color mix. This is the main blending technique I use in my own artwork, and in these few examples, you can see that the top layers are light enough for the base layers to still shine through. I love that! Once your base color is down, begin adding additional layers of colors on top, and you'll see I'll go from yellow to orange, red, and then dark red. As you come to the end of the drawing, you can add more pressure, but the idea with glazing is to keep the transparent look to the drawing. This gradual buildup of colors will create a smooth transition between hue, resulting in a soft and subtle blend. You'll be able to see all the colors, and that's what glazing is all about, keeping the base colors visible to create visual interest. When you're working on your own drawing, try experimenting with different color combinations and layering techniques to create unique and eye-catching blends in your artwork. Don't be afraid to mix and match colors to achieve the desired effect, but keep true to the subject and, if possible, color harmony. One of the major benefits of using glazing is that it creates depth and richness. By layering multiple colors, you can achieve a more realistic and dynamic look that's difficult to achieve with just a single color. It's so true! Glazing also allows for greater control over the intensity of the colors, as you can gradually build up the hues, and you have control to erase, you can remove it in different techniques, and then you can add back onto it. One potential downside of glazing is that it's really time consuming. I often equate it to drawing the same drawing 3, 4, or more times. Wow, that's crazy, but speaks so much to colored pencil work. This is definitely something else my students ask or comment on. Wow, it takes a long time to draw. Glazing is a technique that can be used in a variety of ways in your colored pencil drawing. It can be particularly effective for creating smooth gradients, adding depth to shadows, and enhancing the vibrancy of colors. You can use this technique in portraits, landscapes, still life, or any other subject matter where you want to achieve a realistic and nuanced look. Glazing is a versatile and powerful technique that can take your colored pencil drawings to the next level. So I really hope that you give it a try. Next up, we have burnishing, a technique that involves applying heavy pressure to your colored pencils to smooth out and blend the colors together using a regular colored pencil, or what I'll be using, a burnishing pencil that's from Derwent. I'm using 4 colors in this example of light pink, medium pink, magenta, and purple. Burnishing can create a vibrant and polished look in your artwork, adding a beautiful sheen and intensity to your colors. The burnishing pencil that I'll be using just a little bit later is hardcore. It holds a point longer than most colored pencils and can easily move colored pencil pigment into the tooth of the paper. When it comes to burnishing, The pressure you apply with your colored pencil plays a crucial role in the final result. By varying the pressure, you can achieve different effects in your artwork. The other point that's important about burnishing is that you do want a number of layers of colors so that the burnishing pencil has something to mix and push into the fiber of the paper. When I use burnishing, either with a burnishing pencil or with regular color pencils, I usually apply at least 4 layers of colors, and I often wait till I'm almost finished the drawing. Why is that? Burnishing pencils can easily damage the paper, and since the idea is to blend the colors together in a more solid appearance than glazing, for example, it can be more difficult to lift or erase the colored pencil pigments. Keep this in mind as you work with or practice with this technique. So let's talk about 3 different burnishing pressures as we begin using this tool. Light pressure burnishing is a gentle way to blend colors together, providing a soft and delicate transition between hues. This method is ideal for creating subtle gradients and subtle shading in your artwork. It allows you to layer colors gradually without overwhelming the paper with pigment. You use a light pressure the same way as if you were layering on colored pencils, like pressure 1 or 2. This will do almost no harm to the paper, but it can create a subtle mix of colors, and that's a wonderful effect. But because the burnishing pencil is quite hard, even a light pressure can leave indentations in the paper, so be careful and do some practice. I would use this technique in areas of smooth skin or inner part of an animal ear where there's very little fur. Medium pressure burnishing is a step up from light pressure and can help intensify the colors in your artwork. This works quite well on areas such as dog noses or lips on people, or doing botanical drawings of stamens. It allows you to build up the saturation of your colors and creates more vibrant blends. Be mindful not to press too hard with your burnishing pencil, as it could still cause damage to the paper if done excessively. So just keep that in mind. Heavy pressure burnishing is where you apply significant pressure to your colored pencils, almost flattening the tooth of the paper. This technique can create highly polished, almost painterly finish in your artwork. You would use this technique in eyes or glass, plastic, metal, or ceramic surfaces. However, be cautious with heavy pressure, as it can lead to damaging the paper surface significantly, causing it to become shiny and less receptive to additional layers of color. So it's essential to find the right balance of pressure with burnishing to achieve the desired effect in your artwork. So do a lot of experimenting and practice, and that's going to really help you a lot to understand how to work with this tool. Moving on to blender markers. They're a fantastic tool for artists looking to blend colors quickly and easily in their artwork. This method involves using a marker significantly designed for blending colored pencils to create smooth transitions between hues. You can find them in most art stores or online. The process is relatively straightforward. After coloring in your desired areas with colored pencils in a typical layering technique, you can then go over them with the blending marker. In this section, I'm using medium blue, purple, and dark blue. One of the primary advantages of using blender markers is their ability to soften the binders of the colored pencils. This is because blender markers contain a solvent that breaks down the wax or the oil in the pencils, allowing the colors to mix and blend more smoothly. The result is a professional looking finish with color transitions between colors, making your artwork appear more polished and cohesive. As I start using the blender marker, it's good to know that blender markers are a convenient and efficient blending tool, especially for artists who are new to blending techniques or looking to save time. When I work with the blender marker, I use different techniques. I lay it down in a scrumbling or little circles or sometimes linear. It really depends on what I'm doing, and I have to pay attention to my subject. The markers take the guesswork out of blending by providing a quick and easy method for achieving smooth and even color transitions. However, there are some drawbacks to using blender markers. One potential drawback is that the solvent in the marker can sometimes cause the colors to bleed or smudge if not used carefully. It's essential to use a light touch when blending with the marker to avoid oversaturating or damaging the paper. The marker can easily get dirty, and I've found ways to clean them by just rubbing them on a clean piece of paper, like a scrap piece of paper. Another consideration is that blender markers may not work well with all types of colored pencils. Some pencils may not blend efficiently with the solvent, resulting in a less than ideal blending effect. So it's essential to do some experimenting, and sometimes you might have to add more layers to actually get them to work better. As I add the marker, I'll try to work from light to dark areas. I want to do this so that I can control the mix. The darker colors coming into the lighter areas will mix into those areas and make them darken up. Not exactly the best thing to happen, so consider this when you're working with this tool. An issue I have found with blending markers is that they have a tendency to be quite rigid, meaning that they're not very flexible. The mix often has a tendency to struggle to blend smoothly together. That's why I recommend using these markers on areas that are quite small and within the scale of your drawing. Again, things like eyes or stamens on plants, even leaf edges would really benefit for something like this. You can get these markers quite thin, and some of them have double ends on them. Okay, so next on our list is blender colored pencils. In this section, I'm using light blue, turquoise, dark turquoise, and medium blue. Now, these are a little bit different from burnishing pencils because they are considered to be a bit softer. There are many professional color pencil brands that make their own blending pencils. Generally, the pencil is just the binder used in the construction of the brand's colored pencils, but with no pigment. They're designed easily to blend and smooth out colored pencil marks, but work a little bit different from the burnishers because they're not as hard and they don't push the pigment into the paper as much. So they don't crush the fiber of the paper, but they do allow for some mixing. And this allows for more in-depth richness in the color and in the artwork. After I've laid down my 4 layers of colored pencil, I'm going to start using the blending pencil. There isn't any special technique to use these pencils. Just draw with them the way that you would with a regular colored pencil, but you'll notice that the color is going to change a little bit. The more layers you have, the easier it is to actually start blending. One of the main pros of using blender colored pencils is their ability to seamlessly blend colors together, creating a smooth transition between different shades. This can help to achieve a more realistic look in your artwork. Using a blender pencil can also help to soften harsh lines and edges, creating a more natural and blended effect. Another advantage of using blender color pencils is that they're easy to use. Simply apply a light hand and use a small circular motion to blend the colors together. This makes them a great option for both beginners and experienced artists alike. The one I'm using right now is from Caran d'Ache Luminance. Blender color pencils can be used in a variety of artistic projects. They're great for blending colors in drawings, illustrations, and coloring books. They can also be used in mixed media projects such as combining color pencils with markers or watercolors. I do hope you give them a try. Moving on to blender liquids or solvents. I'm working with light green, medium green, light blue, and dark blue. Blending solvents are a liquid solvent that loosens or dissolves the binder in the colored pencils, such as blending solutions or mineral spirits. You should only use blending solvents found in art stores as they're specially formulated to be non-destructive to artwork. Usually they're referred to as OMS or odorless mineral spirits, and there are several brands available to artists, and they're often found in the painting section of art stores. These solvents offer artists an alternative method to blend colored pencils seamlessly. I'm adding another 4 layers of different colors to this example. Like the other blending methods, it's important to have enough binder and pigment from the colored pencil on the paper for the solvent to work. One of the main advantages of using blender solvents is the ability to create a smooth and fluid blending effect. The solvents help to break down the waxy binder or oily binder in colored pencils, allowing the pigments to blend effortlessly on the paper. The use of blending solvents also enables artists to achieve a wider range of effects, such as creating watercolor-like washes, subtle gradients, and textured surfaces in colored pencil drawings. Another benefit of using blending solvents is the speed and efficiency of the blending process. Solvents can quickly and evenly blend colors together. Blending solvents can be easily layered to build up colors and create depth in artwork. However, there are some drawbacks to consider when using blending solvents. Some solvents may alter the appearance or texture of the paper, and also once you use the solvent, you can't easily remove or erase the colors on the paper. So only use the solvents when you're very sure you've completed a section of your art or ready to apply it. For sure, this is a great technique to give a try. And finally, as I add 4 more colors to our last example, I want to talk about using neutrals in blending technique. So the colors I'm using on this one are light yellow, medium green, and dark green. So what are neutrals? Neutrals are colors such as grays, whites, or blacks. Neutrals are a great alternative to blending technique. They're usually found as most sets have at least a white and a black, and they can be easily applied as they're kind of used in the same way as a regular colored pencil. By layering gray, black, or white on top of existing colors, you can create seamless transitions between shades. This technique is particularly effective when trying to blend different tones together to create a cohesive and harmonious look. So if you have a dark shade, you can use a little bit of black and pull that into the lighter areas. And the opposite can be true. If you have a lighter area, you can use a white as a blending pencil. There are many different scenarios where using neutral and blending techniques can be effective. For example, when drawing a portrait, using neutrals to blend different skin tones can create tonal changes and help to emphasize values, creating depth and form. Overall, using neutrals is a great blending technique and a powerful tool for artists. I would suggest that you give it a try. Do some testing and see what color combinations you like. By carefully balancing neutrals with other colors and paying attention to the overall composition, you can achieve some stunning results, and it's going to look amazing in your artwork. So there you have it, 6 amazing blending techniques to take your colored pencils artwork to the next level. Glazing, burnishing, marker blender, pencil blender, liquid blender, and finally neutrals. So remember, try these out in different kinds of situations and practice them whenever you can. They're a great addition to all color pencil techniques, so don't be afraid to experiment and find your unique style. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more art-related content. Until next time, thanks for joining me and happy drawing.